15 surprising psychological facts about women. Picture this. You enter a room and your presence speaks before you do. Steady breath. Grounded posture. Warm eye contact. A calm that settles the air. What if the breakthrough you've been searching for in your love life doesn't come from decoding what women want, but from mastering how you show up, what you notice, how you listen, and how you lead yourself under pressure? On Stoicism Drive, we're unpacking 15 surprising psychological truths about women. No gimmicks, no shortcuts, just grounded, applicable insight that challenges you to build self-control, empathy, and intention. Stay to the end. One refined perspective can transform how you connect, how you communicate, and how you love. Orienting principle. This is not manipulation, it's alignment between what you feel, what you do, and what you communicate. When your inner world and outer behavior match, you become trustworthy, attractive, and rare. 1. Mental stimulation. Attraction begins in the mind. For many women, attraction starts long before a touch. It starts with thought. Looks can spark curiosity, but substance sustains interest. If you are just a well-lit face, you blur into the background. When you ask sincere questions, explore ideas with curiosity, and share stories that reveal values, you invite emotional closeness. Emotional closeness is the soil where physical chemistry grows best. What this looks like: instead of performing, you collaborate in the conversation. You follow threads, ask why, and let silence breathe. You listen to understand, not to reload. Scenario. Over coffee, she mentions changing careers. You resist the urge to lecture. You ask what prompted the change, what excites her about it, and what scares her most. You connected to a shift you made, what you learned, where you stumbled. Now you're building a bridge, not pitching a resume. Microscript. I'm curious, what's a belief you've updated in the last year? Here's mine and why it changed. Stoic reminder. The quality of your life rises with the quality of your thoughts. Upgrade your thoughts, your presence follows. 2. Intentional touch. Creams, oils, and the art of foreplay. Grand gestures are memorable, but quiet details transform intimacy. Using creams or oils in foreplay is not just about sensation, it's a signal of patience and presence. You're saying, I'm not rushing a destination, I'm here for this moment. Intimacy is self-mastery made visible. If your mind drifts, evaluating performance, rehearsing the next move, she senses disconnection. Attunement in practice. Notice the rhythm of her breath, the micro shifts in her shoulders, the pace that helps her feel safe. Foreplay is not a prelude, it's part of the music. When you slow the tempo and respond to her cues, the experience becomes collaborative, grounded, and deeply personal. Room setup. Soften the lighting. Reduce distractions. Keep a steady cadence. And check in with warm questions that invite preference without pressure. Intention amplifies sensation. 3. Scent speaks first. Chemistry you can guide. Scent is a quiet force with loud effects. If she loves how you smell, your odds of sparking deep interest can rise dramatically. Numbers near 97% are often cited. That isn't magic, it's physiology and memory at work. You can't manufacture instant chemistry, but you can shape the impression you leave. Practical stack. Unhurried showers. Clean collars. Fabrics that air out. One signature fragrance that feels like you, subtle enough for closeness, distinct enough to be remembered. Overpowering is counterproductive. Let the scent invite, not impose. Small habits, practiced daily, become your signature. Why it matters. Scent marks moments. Long after words fade, the memory of your presence remains. 4. Quiet insecurities about appearance. Be the calming frame. Even confident women can worry about being judged in intimate moments. Culture shouts perfection. The mind whispers doubt. Your steadiness can reset the room. You don't control how she sees herself, but you do control how seen she feels with you. How to respond. Keep your breathing calm. Affirm without fanfare. Let touch and tone communicate respect and acceptance. Real attraction is less about flawless aesthetics and more about emotional safety. The person who creates safety by staying grounded, patient, and attentive becomes unforgettable. Microscript. You're safe with me. We can slow down. I'm right here. Pitfall. Dismissing concerns. You're fine. Don't worry, without genuine attunement. Validation first, then reassurance. 5. The free meal. Reality. Keep your frame. It happens. Some dates are about the evening, not the connection. That can sting, unless you detach from outcomes. Control what's yours, your time, your standards, your response. Vet early. Suggest plans that reveal character rather than just showcasing a venue. If intentions don't align, you don't need a scene, you need a decision. Filtering ideas. Bookstore strolls. Quiet cafes. Art walks. Spaces where conversation leads. Substance filters for you. Move on without resentment. Dignity is a silent magnet. The resilient person doesn't spiral when expectations mismatch. They observe, adjust, and invest where energy is reciprocated. Stoic reset. You don't control outcomes. You control your conduct. Choose composure. 6. Ovulation and elevated desire. Notice the rhythm. Stay centered. During ovulation, many women naturally experience heightened desire and sensitivity to attraction. That surge is biology, not a scoreboard of your worth. Notice the rhythm without attaching your value to it. Staying centered allows you to enjoy the moment without overvaluing or misreading it. When timing is favorable, presence still matters most. Respect her signals and keep your ego out of the driver's seat. When timing isn't, patience and care demonstrate maturity. Awareness guides you. Composure defines you. Composure cue. If you feel yourself inflating because things feel easier, come back to the breath. Enjoy the moment. Don't build an identity around it. 7. The desirable man effect. Social proof without the games. Perceived value rises when others are drawn to you. That's human nature, but confusing external attention with internal worth is a trap. Build worth from the inside out. Discipline, purpose, and emotional control, and your calm confidence speaks before you do. Social proof may open a door, but character is what keeps it open. Check yourself. If your confidence collapses without an audience, it wasn't confidence. Walk your path, tend your craft, and let attention be a byproduct, not the point. Mid-roll prompt. Which of these first 7 insights challenged you most? Comment one behavior you'll adjust this week. Your plan, written simply, becomes your compass. 8. Position preferences are personal. Listen and adapt. Many women have specific preferences with intimate positions. A commonly favored option is penetration from behind, but it isn't universal and often depends on comfort, trust, mood, and meaning. Your role is not to guess perfectly, it's to notice accurately and adapt generously. How to adapt? Ask with warmth. Watch for subtle cues, breathing, muscle tension, the way she leans in or away. Mastery here isn't control over another person. It's control over your ego so you can prioritize her experience without defensiveness. Check-ins that help. Slower or steadier? This angle or that? Tell me what feels best right now. Curiosity builds safety. Safety builds desire. 9. Attention and empathy heal. Presence over problem solving. When she's upset, resist the reflex to fix. Offer presence. Listen all the way through. Reflect what you hear. Validate without minimizing. The strength required to sit with emotion, without dominating it, is rare and magnetic. Often, the moment calls for containment, not solutions. 3-step response. I hear that you're feeling. It makes sense because I'm here with you. Do you want listening, ideas, or just a hug? Why it works. When you stop forcing answers and start hearing her, tension dissolves and trust grows. Presence isn't passive, it stabilizes the room. 10. Secret thoughts of affairs prevent neglect. Build depth. A hard truth. Many admit they'd consider an affair if there were no consequences. Figures around 68% are often cited. It isn't automatic blame. It's a signal that emotional neglect and complacency corrode connection. Instead of outrage, choose ownership. Re-engage. Rebuild rituals of attention. Lead with consistency, playfulness, and shared growth. When a relationship feels alive, the pull of escapist fantasies weakens. Depth is built on many small moments of presence, not a single grand apology. Rituals that work. A 10-minute nightly check-in. A weekly walk with phones off. A monthly, first date, redo. Consistency beats drama. 11. Best friend versus boyfriend. Become the confidant. Some women feel more emotionally connected to a best friend than to a partner. That's not a verdict, it's direction. If you coast on attraction while neglecting connection, you'll be outpaced by the person who listens better. Become the anchor. Ask deeper follow-ups. Remember key details and return to them later. Offer stability during stress. When she trusts you with her truth, attraction roots itself in respect, and that combination is durable. Attunement tactic. Keep a simple note of the projects, family dynamics, and stressors she mentions. Small, timely check-ins say, "I'm paying attention." 12. Confidence and emotional maturity, especially beyond 40. With maturity, intimacy shifts from performance to presence. External appeal still helps, but emotional steadiness, intelligence, and grounded confidence matter more. Approval-seeking erodes energy. Purpose and balance restore it. Real confidence. It's measured in quiet moments, how you act when nobody's watching. How you hold tension without lashing out. How you repair when you're wrong. That energy feels safe, and safety is profoundly attractive. Lead with stability, not spectacle. Daily stack. Move your body. Sit in silence. Reflect in writing. These habits consolidate your center and raise your baseline. 13. Size isn't the decider. Presence beats measurement. The human body is built for compatibility, not extremes. Obsessing over size drains attention from what actually matters: attunement, pacing, breath, and care. The most memorable experiences come from presence, sustained eye contact, synchronized breathing, responsive touch, and real admiration. Attention reset. If self-critique rises, return to breath and focus on her micro-responses. When she feels chosen, seen, and cherished, the metric fades, the memory remains. Mindset shift. You can't change every attribute, but you can master attention. That's where unforgettable intimacy lives. 14. Body language, the second conversation. Women communicate continually without words: angled feet, a playful touch, mirrored posture, a longer than usual glance that invites you closer. Miss these cues and you miss the moment. Own your signals as well. Stand tall without strain. Breathe slowly. Hold warm eye contact. Move with relaxed precision. Before you enter, shoulders back and down, jaw unclenched. Exhale fully. Control what's in your hands, your body language, and the room feels your calm before you speak. You're not just responding to signals, you're sending them. Common mistake: confusing intensity with presence. Presence is relaxed and attuned, not rigid or performative. 15. Communication builds trust. Trust builds everything. Silence, mystery, and games might spark short-term intrigue but rarely build lasting attraction. Clarity does. Speak directly about desires, boundaries, and expectations. Listen actively and summarize what you heard to prevent misreadings. Be honest without cruelty, vulnerable without neediness. Conversation structure. State your intention. Share your perspective with I language. Ask for hers. Agree on one small next step. And schedule a quick follow-up. Emotional control turns hard conversations into bonding moments. Why it matters. Trust is the bedrock of every relationship, romantic, professional, or brief. You earn trust one clear, respectful conversation at a time. Those were 15 definitive insights, from mental attraction and scent to empathy and communication, delivered through a grounded self-mastery lens. If this gave you sharper clarity, tap like, subscribe to Stoicism Drive, and share this with someone who needs it today. Before you go, drop a comment with the phrase, "The more I understand, the more I control." Tell me which insight you'll apply this week and how you'll practice it. I'm reading every response, and I can't wait to go deeper with you in the next video.